Hello class 12 children. So today we are going to start up with our next chapter, chapter number 9, strategies for enhancement in food production. Well, in this chapter children, what we'll be covering up, we'll be covering various management practices which are being followed up for the rearing of animals kept by us, and what are the various methodologies we are following to enhance the nutritional value of the food products from plants as well as animals. So moving on further, our first topic of the chapter is animal husbandry. Now children, getting the meaning of this term animal husbandry, you can see here in the background of the slide I have placed different types of animals. I'm sharing different animals like a cow, donkey, horse, sheep, and so on and on. So actually, when human beings are rearing and breeding up the livestock, when humans are rearing and breeding the animals only and only for their personal benefits, it refers to as animal husbandry. This animal husbandry not only covers a horse, a cow, a buffalo, a goat or sheep, it also covers up fisheries, fishes, pisciculture. So let's study a little bit in detail about these. Management of farm and farm animals. Under this, the first one that we'll be studying up is dairy farm management. Now see children, you can see here the picture of US cows. These cows are right now in a farm, in a dairy farm. And what is the purpose of management of a dairy farm? It's only and only to have milk, a good yield of milk and high nutrition value in that particular milk. Fine. Now when we are going to manage a farm, a dairy farm, we are not just going to keep the cows in an ill-mannered position, but we need to follow some rules. Now what are those rules? So that these cows are also maintaining a healthy life, and yes, if they are healthy, we'll be getting a nutritional food, whatever we are getting from them. So what can be the conditions? One, proper ventilation should be there wherever we have placed them. Maintenance of cleanliness and hygiene. Proper regular checkups from a veterinary doctor, vaccinations, and so on and on. Means many conditions are there. If we want something from these animals, it's our prime duty to take care of these animals also. We need to provide them the food and fodder of proper nutrients, covering up all the nutrients required for their own health. Moving on further, next is poultry farm management. Now you can see, as you can see in this picture, number of hens are there. Yes, and a person is collecting what? Eggs. So what is the purpose of poultry farm management? It's collection of eggs and the carcass of these hens or the chickens. So this is the purpose. Now what will be the maintenance practices followed? The same as it was for dairy farm. Maintenance of a proper ventilated place where they are being kept, hygienic conditions, proper regular checkup. They should be given a proper nutritious food, and time to time veterinary doctors should be available for their checkup with vaccinations. And poultry is not only including the hens and the chickens or the cocks, but they are including ducks, turkey, and goose also, whose plural is geese. Fine. So these are also being included under this. Next, beekeeping. Such a wonderful picture, such a close-up. Please look at it. Now see, beekeeping. One question is coming to me. Am I or you able to maintain beekeeping or pisciculture? Can we conduct this practice? Not pisci, but apiculture? Of course, the answer will be no. Why? Because dealing with these bees is not an easy task. The person should be well trained how to manage their beehive, how to look after these bees, how to take out their hive, how to take out honey, how to take out their own products. So, a proper trained person is required for the maintenance of this practice, beekeeping or apiculture. Now, see, these bees, children, they are not only providing us with honey, which is very nutritious, a pure honey is very nutritious for us, but with this honey they are providing us with bee wax also. Actually this wax they are making for their own beehive, अपने घर के लिए, but we steal that wax and use it for some cosmetics and other materials also. One more important part that they are playing, that is pollination. Now just imagine how this honey is being produced in their beehive. Actually these bees, they wander nearby their beehive, go in search of nectar, go in search of the nectar for few kilometers of the flowers like sunflower, mustard, etc. They just suck the nectar of those flowers, but by chance they also pollinate those flowers. So those flowers are highly dependent on these bees for what? For pollination. And again, the same things what I have discussed right now in the previous slides, that I have mentioned here one by one. You can just have a look. Next, moving on further, pisciculture. As the picture indicates, beekeeping was apiculture and fish keeping, fisheries, is pisciculture. It's simple, rearing and breeding of fish. And what can be the purpose? Only for our own purpose. What is the purpose? Using them as a food. Now this pisciculture, which is also known as fisheries, actually it is we are including various types of fishes in them, like marine fishes, which are catla, the catfish, rohu and the carps. And also some freshwater fishes are there, like hilsa, sardines, mackerel, pomfrets. You need to learn them. See, in the last point, I have highlighted a term, aquaculture. Now children, what can be the difference between aquaculture and pisciculture? Aquaculture, aqua means aquatic, and aquatic में सिर्फ animals ही नहीं cover होते हैं. In aquatic culture, even the plants are being covered. Means when we are going to culture, when we are going to rear and breed both animals and plants, it refers to as aquaculture. And if we are rearing only and only the fishes, it is pisciculture. So this is the major difference. Next, very important topic children, animal breeding. Now what is this animal breeding? Animal breeding means when we want to insert some our own desired characters into the offsprings of a particular couple in a particular breed of an animal. Means I want that the offspring, suppose I'm having 3-4 cows at my home. One is Jersey, one is Sindhi, something like that. Okay? So what I want to combine one male and female, either of the same breed or of the different breed. Okay? And what I want, that their offspring, it should have much more better characters as compared to the parents. So this is the purpose of animal breeding. This is you can say artificially जब हम कराते हैं. ठीक है? Next, this animal breeding is of two types, inbreeding and outbreeding. Inbreeding means andar, within a breed, and outbreeding you can consider it outside the breed, means between two different breeds, or it can be same also. I'm going to cover up this in the coming up slides. First of all, inbreeding. Now it will be clear from this picture itself children. Inbreeding means breeding purely and purely between a single breed. एक ही breed में उसका male and female. Like in this picture what I have shared, there's a male Sindhi and there's a female Sindhi. They both have been crossed or mated with each other, and जो इनका offspring आया है सिंधी, what we saw, थोड़ा सा वो better था अपने parents से, ठीक है. And what is the main purpose of this inbreeding? कि अगर suppose sometimes we feel कि इस एक पर्टिकुलर स्पीशीज़ में इसका जो ये वाला बुल है और ये वाला जो काऊ है, इसमें बहुत अच्छे कैरेक्टर्स हैं और ये यहाँ से बाहर ना जाए. वी वॉन्ट कि टोटली इन्हीं की स्पीशीज़ में सिंधी के कैरेक्टर्स शुड रिमेन इन सिंधी. देन वी गो फॉर इन ब्रीडिंग, मीन्स ब्रीडिंग ओनली विद इन द ब्रीड. फाइन, बट इसके देर आर मेनी डिसएडवांटेजेस ऑल्सो. वन एडवांटेज इज प्योर लाइन्स, बिल्कुल प्योर जीन्स होंगे ओनली ऑफ द पेरेंट्स, कोई इधर उधर के जीन्स नहीं है, ठीक है. बिकॉज द पेरेंट्स आर, बोथ द पेरेंट्स आर बिलोंगिंग टू द सेम ब्रीड, तो उसी ब्रीड के जीन्स हैं ऑफस्प्रिंग के अंदर. सो देर आर प्योर लाइन्स, नो मिक्सिंग ऑफ अदर जीन्स. बट व्हाट आर द डिसएडवांटेजेस? होमोजाइगोसिटी. Homozygosity develops, means now suppose this couple, Sindhi male and Sindhi female, they are again and again mated. So what will happen? The offsprings produced by them will be again and again having almost same type of genes. Same type of genes will pair up and same type of combination and same type of offspring will be given up. So this will result in inbreeding depression. Very important, children. This will result in inbreeding depression. What is inbreeding depression? When the same animal, the same couple, or the animals of the same breed are again and again breeded among each other only. Then what happens? Fertility rate decreases. What happens? Fertility rate decreases, and even the productivity rate, because कोई mutation नहीं हो रहा है, कोई बाहर से sometimes it happens when we cross different breeds, we get some superior genes entering into the other breed. So nothing is entering, nothing is leaving, only the pure lines are coming and coming, and the same pair is again and again mated up. So what will it result in? Reduced fertility and productivity, and this is referred to as inbreeding depression. Now the question comes, otherwise this inbreeding is very important concept, but if we want to get rid of inbreeding depression, we do not want this to occur. Now what we have to do? Then we children have to shift to the second category, which is outbreeding. What is it? Outbreeding. When? Now please listen carefully. When we are going to cross two different breeds, when we are going to cross the animals, the male and female of two different breeds, or male and female of same breed, but there is a condition. अगर एक ही breed का, suppose यही सिंधी काऊ एंड बुल को मेट कराना है, तो कुछ conditions हैं. What? The cow and the bull, उनके last 4 to 5 और 4 to 6 generations, they should not be common. उनके 4 to 6 generation के parents, they should not be common. So this is the first condition. Depending on this, outbreeding has been classified into 3 categories: outcrossing, crossbreeding, interspecific hybridization. Now the first, outcrossing. Very simple, children. Outcrossing means breeding within the same breed, but the male and female, they should not be the resultant of the same parent, but 4 to 6 generations of their parents should be uncommon. उनके 4 से 6 जनरेशन के पेरेंट्स बिल्कुल अलग होने चाहिए. दे शुड नॉट बी कॉमन विद ईच अदर. ठीक है. एन एग्जाम्पल इज अ सिंपल मेटिंग बिटवीन अ काऊ एंड अ बुल of any breed, but simply we have to keep in mind 4 to 6 generation parents should not be common. Now the next 2 categories, crossbreeding and interspecific, this will be cleared out with the next picture, next slide. First, crossbreeding. The term itself is telling crossbreeding means I need to cross 2 different breed animals. मीन्स फीमेल किसी अलग ब्रीड की है, मेल किसी और ब्रीड का है, एंड आई एम क्रॉसिंग बोथ ऑफ देम और मेटिंग बोथ ऑफ देम टू गेट द ऑफस्प्रिंग which is even better, maybe a better one than the parents if compared. Look at the picture now. Yes, this is children crossbreeding. You can see here this phenomenon has been practiced in Punjab. What has been done? The first picture on the top, on the left top side, what is it? It is a sheep called Bikaneri ewes. What is it? Bikaneri ewes. This is a female, and on the extreme right top corner of the picture, what is there? Merino rams. Again a breed of the sheep, which is a male. So on the left it is a female, Bikaneri ewes, and on the right it is Merino rams, the male. They both have been crossed and mated, and they have resulted into another category, into a new breed called Hisardale. What is it? Hisardale. Important, children. And this offspring is far more better in characteristics if compared to the parents. Moving on to the third category, interspecific breeding. You've always heard like a tiger mating with a tigress, lion with a lioness, But if it happens that a male donkey mates with a female horse, then what is the resultant? A mule. What is the resultant? A mule. Children, please see at the bottom of this picture, the female horse, how many chromosomes it's having? If we see only the haploid number, उसके gamete egg में जो chromosomes हैं, they are 32 in number. The female horse is having 32 chromosomes, and the male donkey is having 31 chromosomes. When both their gametes they fused after mating, female's egg 32, male sperm 31. The total came up to 63. Yes, the diploid number total after fusion zygote का number आया 63. Can you see 63 anywhere in the male donkey and the female horse chromosome number in the diploid one? No, it is 62 and 64, and the offspring is getting 63. So lack of this one chromosome results in the formation of a different type of species called mule, which is infertile. It is infertile. Moving on further. Next is controlled breeding experiments. Now, if we leave the mating process naturally on nature, it's time consuming and it's a type of guess whether we'll get the desired characters or no. So for that, if we want that these particular characteristics should be present in these particular animals or plants, we opt for another option, that is controlled breeding experiments. Means artificially conducting the breeding experiment. And what are the two categories which you are going to study further? It is one, artificial insemination, and the second, MOET, M-O-E-T, multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Now, sharing up the first methodology under controlled breeding experiments, it is artificial insemination. Now, what is this artificial insemination? Simple. एक अच्छा superior bull जो है, सबसे पहले we need to collect its semen. उस semen को collect करके either we are going to freeze it in -196 degree Celsius of nitrogen, or we are going to use it immediately. Fine. Now this is the process. This is a female cow. The veterinary doctor is going to use AI gun, artificial insemination gun, in which the semen containing millions of sperm of the superior bull, this gun is filled up with that semen, and this semen has to be injected at a right place where the veterinary doctor feels by touching inside, and it will be almost at the end of the uterus. So this is the method, artificial insemination. The semen will be released right at the appropriate place where it is required for fertilization. And what is the purpose of this artificial insemination? Little bit the chances of fertilization, it increases. Yes, chances of fertilization will increase, but still there's one drawback. And what's that? Although the fertilization chances increase, but still this female is releasing 1 or 2 eggs only. So how many children we can have at a time? Either 1 or 2. But what if we want more children at a time, more offsprings at a time? For that we have the second method of controlled breeding experiment. It is MOET, M-O-E-T, multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. The previous slide was sharing the points of artificial insemination, which I have already discussed. You can watch in that. Now children, this is the step-by-step explanation of MOET. In this, what we are doing, what is the purpose of this MOET? Actually, the purpose is to increase the herd size. जहाँ पर one female is giving birth to 1 or 2 offspring, we want the same female to give rise to 7, 8 or maybe 10 offsprings. So this way what will happen? The herd size will automatically increase. So what is the process being followed? First of all, a superior female and a superior male from a breed is selected. Fine, their selection has been done. Now the female, the superior female, it will be injected with FSH activity hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. Once this hormone is given, so earlier where this cow was releasing, its ovary was releasing only 1 or 2 eggs. Now due to this follicle stimulating hormone, it will start releasing 6 to 8 eggs at a time. In a month, 6 to 8 eggs. And just imagine children, if all those 6 and 8 eggs, if they are fertilized, this cow will have 6 to 8 offsprings. Fine. Now, after injecting of this hormone, it will start releasing 6 to 8 eggs, and this is called super ovulation. This particular state is called super ovulation. Now, after like suppose 5 or 7 days after the insemination, what is the after the FSH hormone injection, after that, now what is the third step? Insemination. Means suppose the eggs have been released, ovulation ho gaya hai, super ovulation, 6 to 8 eggs have been released from the ovary. Now what? Fertilization. So for fertilization we need a sperm, we need some sperms, so artificial insemination is done in that cow. This the process which I shared in the previous slide. Artificial insemination will be done, and hence fertilization will take place, and 6 to 8 embryo formation will be there. What will be there? 6 to 8 embryo formation. Now the story changes. अब वो जो 6 to 8 zygote से embryo बने, those all embryos will be non-surgically removed from the mother cow. उन सभी embryos को बाहर निकाल लिया जाएगा, ठीक है, non-surgically. And now it's your wish, it's the wish of the doctor. Either it will place 1 or 2 embryos in some other mothers, ठीक है, surrogate mothers, and keep aside the rest of the embryos in a freezing point. Now if 1 or 2 eggs have been placed in some other 1 or 2 cows, surrogate mothers, so they will be pregnant, they will be finally for 9 months, but that also we have to look at that whether they are in their fertilizing period of the month or no. Are they in the ovulatory state or no? Is their uterus right now prepared to accept the embryo and turn it into a pregnancy? Then only we can insert. Otherwise, we will put them into a freezing condition. So if we are placing 1 or 2 eggs or all the 8 eggs in some other 8 cows who are right now in their fertility time or fertile, who are fertile, so what will happen? we will get 6 to 8 offsprings of the same breed from different 6 to 8 cows, but वो जो सबसे पहली जेनेटिक मदर थी, ठीक है, सुपीरियर फीमेल थी, शी इज़ अगेन फ्री आफ्टर 1 month. 1 महीने के बाद शी इज़ अगेन फ्री because all those embryos have been extracted out from its body. So this is, children, your